Bear down Chicago. Polls just picked up the phone, and what is about to go down at Halas Hall is going to shake the entire NFC North. Dexter Lawrence, 3-time Pro Bowl, 2-time All-Pro, 28 years old, and according to Bleacher Report, the monster who wrecked 9 quarterbacks in 2024 raised his hand and told New York, "Get me out of here." Chicago's defense had the 8th worst pass rush efficiency grade in the entire league in 2025. Without that guy in the middle eating guards and centers and opening lanes for Sweat and Booker, Dennis Allen's entire front operates at half its potential. Dexter Lawrence is not an upgrade. He is the piece that transforms everything, and while Poles moves that front, the secondary has its own earthquake happening. Denzel Ward, 5-time Pro Bowl, Fox Sports has him landing in navy and orange for a 3rd-round pick, and a prospect named Keontae Scott is already at the Bears facility on a 30-hour pre-draft visit. A guy who can play cornerback, slot, and return kicks, exactly what Allen has been asking for. But there is a third move that nobody in the Windy City saw coming, one that involves Cole Kmet, the stadium situation, and a draft decision that could fund everything Poles is building, one that changes the complete picture of this roster. We get into all of that right now. If you trust the Ryan Poles process, hit that like button and subscribe to the Real Bear Nation. Bear down. Talk about immediate impact. Talk about exactly the kind of player Dennis Allen has been begging for since he walked through the doors at Halas Hall. Dexter Lawrence, 3-time Pro Bowler, 2-time second-team All-Pro, 28 years old, and according to Bleacher Report, the man wants out of New York, and the Chicago Bears have been named one of the most likely landing spots. Now, let me give you the full picture because context is everything here. Lawrence had 9 sacks in 2024. 9! In 2025, his numbers dipped. The Giants basically decided he was not a priority anymore, and now the man has requested a trade. He's playing on a contract worth $22.5 million per season with no guaranteed money left, which means he wants a new deal, more guaranteed money, and a fresh start somewhere that actually wants him. Here's where it gets complicated. The Giants are going to ask for a 1st-round pick. Potential trade partners are going to point at that 2025 production dip and offer significantly less. And Chicago is already operating near the bottom of the league in available cap space. Keep it a buck. This is not a simple transaction, but here's the real argument. The Bears had the 8th worst pass rush efficiency grade in the entire NFL last season, according to Pro Football Reference. The 11th worst run defense grade. Montez Sweat is there. Austin Booker has upside, but they do not have that interior anchor. That guy who eats double teams. That guy who opens running lanes for the edge rushers to get home. That guy whose presence alone changes how an offensive line has to prepare all week. Dexter Lawrence is that guy. Y'all don't understand what that would look like. Sweat on one side, Booker developing on the other, Lawrence in the middle eating guards and centers alive. That is not a decent defensive line. That starts to look like a genuine problem for every quarterback in the NFC North. Now, what would this realistically cost? What? The Giants want a 1st-rounder. Chicago has the 25th overall pick. They are not moving that for Lawrence, given his contract situation and his 2025 numbers. But if you can structure something around 2nd and 3rd-round picks, plus a contract extension that works for both sides, that is a conversation Ryan Poles absolutely has to have. He has to pick up that phone right now because remember what happened in the playoffs. The Rams ran the ball, the Rams controlled time of possession, and the Bears defense had no answer for it. With Dexter Lawrence on that interior, that story could be completely different. You give Allen a disruptive physical presence in the middle, and suddenly that front four becomes genuinely scary in December and January when it matters. And here's what makes this rumor especially interesting. Lawrence is the one who raised his hand and said, "Get me out of here." This is not a player begging to stay with the Giants. This is a player who wants a trade, which means Chicago has leverage in any negotiation. When a player wants to come, the price goes down. When a player wants out, the team receiving him holds the cards. Ryan Poles needs to be on that phone today, not tomorrow, today. Okay, and now the secondary, because if the defensive front has issues, the secondary has even bigger ones. Chicago lost Jaquan Brisker, lost Kevin Byard, who finished the season with 7 interceptions, leading the entire league, and then signed with the Patriots for just $9 million. $9 million, fam. The man led the NFL in picks, and the Bears front office let him walk. I still cannot fully process that one. And now Fox Sports reporter Ralph Vacchiano is projecting the Bears could be looking at Denzel Ward from the Cleveland Browns, 5-time Pro Bowler, a legitimate elite cornerback when healthy. The proposed cost, a 2026 third-round pick and a 2027 sixth-rounder. Look, I could be wrong on this, but that price seems low for a cornerback of that caliber. If Ward is healthy, that is a true CB1 who completely changes the dynamic of the entire secondary. Jalen Johnson on one side, Ward on the other, and suddenly you have one of the best outside corner tandems in the entire NFC. The concern is the word healthy. The injury history with Ward is real, and you have to factor that in before giving up draft capital. While that is being sorted out, the Bears brought in Miami Hurricanes defensive back Keontae Scott for a 30-hour pre-draft visit. And this prospect, fam, this prospect is genuinely interesting. Second-team All-ACC, 64 tackles, 5 sacks, 2 interceptions, 2 touchdowns, 2 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries. This is a guy who can play corner, who can blitz off the edge like a linebacker, who could be used in the return game on special teams. He returned a punt for a touchdown back at Auburn in 2023. Dennis Allen wants versatility. Allen wants that chess piece who does not need a full playbook explanation every time you move him. Scott fits that profile perfectly. And there is something else worth noting. If Scott comes in and contributes at corner or nickel, you can slide Kyler Gordon from the slot to safety, which is where Gordon honestly looks most comfortable tactically anyway. But all of this leads us to the elephant in the room. Tyreek Stevenson, the man is entering the final year of his rookie contract, and the numbers are hard to look past, bro. Over 45 career games, Stevenson has allowed 2,049 receiving yards, 14 touchdowns. Teams complete over 53% of passes thrown his direction. And in Pro Football Focus coverage grades, he never finished higher than 70th at his position in the second half of 2025. The coaching staff started pulling him out of the lineup. That tells you something. Coaches see things in real time that we cannot see from the stands. If Johnson and Wright were ahead of Stevenson on the depth chart, that is a signal you have to take seriously. Can Stevenson break out in 2026? The athletic talent is there. Possible, but possible is not enough when you are trying to make a Super Bowl run from the Windy City. And 2 more conversations we cannot leave on the table. The stadium situation is still a beautiful mess. Chicago, Arlington Heights, Indiana, everyone wants Day Bears. Kevin Warren says they need to make a call before summer because construction costs are rising fast. Arlington Heights would require $855 million in public infrastructure funds. Indiana's Governor Mike Braun already signed legislation creating the financial framework for a stadium in Hammond. And Hollis Hall stays in Lake Forest no matter what. That is already confirmed. The real drama is that Indiana is talking about moving football operations there too, something the Bears already shot down publicly. But the fact that Indiana is a serious conversation at all, that is pure negotiation. The Bears are using both sites as leverage against each other. Whoever offers the better deal wins. On the draft front, a Sports Illustrated mock has Chicago selecting Ohio State defensive tackle Caden McDonald in the first round and Missouri edge rusher Zion Young in the second via trade with Miami. McDonald is the run stuffer, the guy who pushes blockers backward and clogs running lanes, which opens space for Sweat and Booker to do their thing. Young complements that with physical power off the edge. And Cole Kmet, there is a hypothetical floating around that would send him to Baltimore for a conditional 2027 fourth-round pick. If Colston Loveland is ready to carry the tight end 1 role, Kmet becomes tradable, and that cap relief goes toward the defensive rebuild. But that is a genuine gamble. Kmet produces, Kmet blocks, Kmet knows this offense inside out. A conditional future fourth guarantees nothing. This is exactly what we want as Bears fans. A team that is close, a team that won 11 games, came back from 18 points down to beat the Packers in the playoffs, and has Caleb Williams lighting up like we always knew he could. Now the question is whether Ryan Poles can build a defense to match. Dexter Lawrence in the middle, Denzel Ward on the outside, Keontae Scott as that versatile chess piece in the secondary, Caden McDonald shutting down the run. The defensive picture is starting to take shape. And if Poles executes over the next 10 days before the draft starts in the Windy City, Bear down. This could be the most complete version of the Chicago Bears we have seen in a long, long time. This is not a rebuild anymore. This is a team coming to compete. Drop it in the comments right now. Do you go get Dexter Lawrence and pay the price, or do you trust the draft to fill that hole? Because I already know where I stand, and I want to know if y'all are with me. If this got you fired up, leave that like before you go, fam. It means everything to the channel. See you in the next one. Bear down.